Hi guys, and welcome to part 27 of Skyrim Mod Sanctuary. Now, those of you who have been following my Let's Play videos already know that I have been doing a playthrough that involves a lot of followers. And so this Mod Sanctuary video is going to cover the mods that I've been using for that. Now, the first mod I'm going to talk about is called UFO, or the Ultimate Follower Overhaul. And basically what this mod aims to do is enhance the general follower experience. The first thing you will see is 1, 2, 3, 4 followers that I have already. This is a summoned creature, so ignore him. But I have 4 followers. With this mod I can actually have up to 15. So be aware of that. And also be aware of the fact that that many followers does affect the game. It makes it a little easier. It makes it noticeably easier, actually. You want to be playing this on master difficulty with, some difficulty enhancing mods if possible. If you're using mods like war zones, that's good. Any mods that add a lot of extra creatures and battles will probably make the gameplay a lot more fun if you're walking around with 5 and 6 followers, because they do make a huge difference. Now, this mod does more than just allow you to have more followers. It also allows you to have your followers ride. Now, I've not used that much myself at the moment because I'm not a big fan of horses. I always find them a little difficult to deal with. But in every major town, you'll find these horses positioned in a place that you can steal them without actually getting accused of a crime, because for some reason they don't belong to anyone, and you can then give it to your follower. But as I said, I've not actually tried the horses as of yet, but that should be very interesting. Once you get 15 followers all mounted on horses, that should be pretty impressive to see. Now, the other thing this mod does is it gives you a lot more control over your followers. So, for example, when you talk to them, you will have an option, and when you open it up, you get some new options. The You Could Dress Better option, I think it removes the default clothing and then places them in their inventory. And you can then, for example, remove it, and as you can see, he is now naked. Not particularly pleasant, but so you can actually make him wear whatever you want. So if you give him some clothes that are not as good as the ones that he starts with, and he doesn't seem to want to use them, you can force him to do it. You can actually force him to do it by taking off his other clothes. So there you go, there's Jizargo without a hood on. So you can change his appearance, and you can do this with all of your companions and give them a unique look, which definitely will help if you've got many of them. There are also some options on, for example, anyone hurts you, make them pay. If you select this, if you accidentally hit your follower, he will hit you back. Or you can say, in combat mistakes happen, forgive and forget, and now if you hit him, he'll ignore it.
There is much for Jizargo to be sure of.
There are some other options. You can actually make your follower invulnerable, so he cannot die. This makes him essential. You say you are important, and he will never die. So if he goes to low health, he will kneel down on one leg, as you've seen other essential NPCs do. You can then change that to everyone dies, and that makes him mortal again. Now, magic, this is, especially if you've got a lot of magic followers, you can actually tell him to forget every spell that he's ever had, which is unfortunate if he's a spellcaster, so I'm not going to do that with him.
Lead on, friend.
However, if you give one of your followers a spell book, for example, a skeleton, this is the Skeletal Tome, Skeletal Archer, you may then go to Speaking of Magic, and study that book. You will find it useful. Now, I will tell you this seems to work for the vanilla spells, the spells that are in the game by default, but it doesn't seem to actually work for modded spells. At least I don't think so, because as you can see, she has not learned this one, but she will learn other spells. Now, as if that wasn't enough, the mod actually adds a group of powers that allow you to command your army. Now, these powers are gained from a book that you can find in Breeze Home, so obviously you need to have progressed the main quest far enough to own that home. But those powers are actually very useful indeed. They allow you to do a number of things. You can tell them to stop fighting, you can tell them to stop, relax, or flee. So, for example, if you're running along and your followers are following you and you want a bit of a break from them, you can shout at them to relax, and they will relax and stay there. Now, you'll notice the skeleton is still following me. That is because it is a permanently summoned minion, not a follower. And then I shout at them again to unrelax them, and they will come running. Oh, it would seem there is a range on it. I have to go back and shout at them while they're in range. There we go. So it allows you to control all your followers with one single shout. The flee option is very useful if you get into a bad fight. And finally, one of the problems you will find in game is your followers don't always level. They end up being very, very weak compared to you as you get higher level. So you can actually check up on your follower, see what they're good at. So what are you good at? And you'll get this nice little character sheet that tells you this follower is level 9, she has the following statistics, and is good at the following things. As you can see, one-handed and two-handed seem to be her thing, heavy armor, etc. I can also... There you go for her resists. I can also tell her to train some, that she's weak. And you'll fade out, a little time will pass, and then when you check her again, she will have trained to whatever level you are. Now, oh, sorry, did it again. Now, in this particular case, she was already the same level as me, which is level 9, so she doesn't go up. But if I get to, say, level 10, level 11, and then do this, she will go up in level and her skills will increase accordingly. So that way your followers keep up with you. And that is very, very useful, especially if you're creating a small army. If you plan on doing a run through where you want to build a small army or posse for whatever reason, this is a great mod for it. It gives you the option to have a lot of followers. It gives you a lot more control over those followers, and it just, in general, makes it a lot more fun. It's completely changed the way I play the game because I spend a lot of time dealing with the followers. I mean, even with 4 of them, plus 1 summoned creature, in fights, I spend time healing them or, just generally trying to keep the followers alive and out of trouble and let them do all the damage and them do all the work. So I've become a kind of general of my army, which is a very interesting way to play the game. But even if you just want to still play the standard warrior, jumping in there and hitting things, and use these guys as backup support, you could do that as well. It's it's completely up to you. Either way, great little mod. Well, it's not a little mod, it's a great big mod. Now, one of the more annoying problems with followers are traps. And you spend a lot of time avoiding traps only to find your follower runs straight across them and gets herself killed or you killed. But as you can see here, my follower, neither of them are activating the trap. Now, this is because of a mod called Follower Trap Safety, and it basically gives all of your followers the perk that goes along the sneak path, the sneak tree, Lightfoot, so they will not trigger pressure plates, tripwires, etc. You still can, so don't step on it yourself, but your followers can run over it at will. Now obviously it would have been better if we could somehow change the AI of the followers to walk around traps, but that I'm afraid is probably quite difficult. So this mod achieves it very simply, very easily, and without giving you any risk of the followers doing anything silly. It basically disables them for followers without disabling it for you, as you can see. Now, the last mod I'm going to cover is there to help with a small problem that occurs when you do have a lot of followers. And that problem is they get in your way, so they crowd your doorways and you can't get past them. Now what this mod does is basically if you get in your followers' face and push against them, they step away and they step quite a far distance almost immediately. And they will move away, and they move a lot further distance than the default, and it's because of a mod called Move It Dammit, which is aptly named. And it basically, if you push your followers, they get out of your way a lot more than they would normally do, which makes it a lot easier to navigate around them. It doesn't always work, but it works better than the vanilla does. As you can see, he walks quite a far distance, which allows me to navigate around him. This is especially useful in very close dungeon type settings. So, definitely a useful one for me. Now, installing these three mods is very, very easy. The ultimate follower overhaul is I just use the single file, download with manager, and then activate with the Nexus mod manager. There is an optional file that will have the followers always draw the weapons when you do. One of the things that the mod does is it stops your followers drawing their weapons until they go into combat. I like that, so I actually just have this file. For the follower trap safety, again, I used the download with manager. There is an alternative version that has only scripts and doesn't require an ESP, but I prefer the top version. So download with manager and activate. And the Move It Dammit. There are two versions. There is the standard version and there is a version that has less wait time. I would recommend the less wait time if you want your followers to move quickly. But once again, download with manager and activate. Could not be simpler. And that is almost it for this video. But before we go, I just want to talk about some interesting little thing that came up in one of my Let's Play videos. I was testing out the new Summon Skeleton spell that I had bought from the Fendrix mod, and I mentioned that instead of summoning it in one of those sort of purple Oblivion Gate style effects, that it would be nice if the summoned skeleton clawed its way out of the ground. And somebody watching that video sent me a quick message and linked me to a video of an animation they had made just for this. And as you can see, it's absolutely brilliant. Now, this person has no modding experience and is looking for a modder to help him get it into game. And I was hoping somebody watching this video could do just that. Either somebody who already has a mod that summons skeletons, for example, the Fendrix mod. If you're watching this, Fendrix, you should contact this guy, or anyone else, because I think this is absolutely brilliant. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did enjoy it, remember, please click the like button. I always appreciate that. I plan on releasing quite a few videos this week, now that I have some free times, and I hope you guys can join me for those. So until then, as always, have fun.